Mission. I'm joined by our political reporter, Mzwandile Mbeje. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
So she finished her testimony today.
Yes.
Give us the big picture. I mean, this has been very important, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think today it was not so much because, remember, we are supposed to have finished the testimony yesterday, but the power cuts interrupted the whole process. So, but what she said today was that for the first time when she was on a trip in India in June with former president, that's when she heard the rumors that the route between between South Africa and India could be cancelled. And then she checked with the chairperson of the board then, Cheryl Carolus, who said there was nothing of the sort, but then went on to say it must be Jet Airways that is putting that kind of pressure. So which gives you an idea that already they may have picked up that something was happening in the background around this thing. So, and from there, she basically says, after attending a fashion show, you know, if you go to the state dinners, there was a fashion show. So she says just before she could leave, and then the CEO of Jet Airways just went straight to her to say, I want to talk to you. So, you know, those are the kinds of things so that she spoke about today. And
Jet Airways linked to the Gupta family? Absolutely.
Jet Airways, it's common cause. You'd remember the 2013 landing at the Vadri Kloof. So it's also one of those things. So as much as perhaps she does not link the Guptas directly, but she says at the end you could connect the dots.
Yeah. So the Zondo Commission could look now at later ministers, whether they cut that route or not, maybe even look at Malusi Gigaba. So she's setting up a picture, I guess, that puts other things in context.
Yes, basically, I mean, even if you looked, when she had concluded her testimony, and then the judge actually gave her an opportunity to say, you are someone with experience, someone who understands these things, so what do you think should be done? So how should people be appointed into all these positions so that you in future you avoid the kind of interference you're speaking about? So I think at a later stage we'll be able to have really a clearer picture. Remember, it's still early days insofar as this state capture is concerned, so I think more is still going to come.
Sure. All right, so next on the stand, Mzwandile Mbeje, former government communications chief, and then he bought the ANN 7 station, changed its name. He pushed to testify, remember, today at the commission, and was adamant that he is not guilty. He, remember, if you'll recall, he was implicated by the acting GCIS head, the former acting head, Phumla Williams. Let's take a listen.
There was an irregular appointment of a particular service provider. Now, that on its own cost the government just under 7 million in terms of money that government lost in that process. And I found the collaboration of bid adjudication committee members and procurement members, that whole team, somehow they had a very elaborate scheme of doing this thing, a typical mini VBS chairperson, if I could call it that.
Strong words. Just take us back, Mzwai. What did Phumla Williams say about Mzwandile Mbeje?
Remember, Phumla Williams basically said when Mzwandile Mbeje went to GCIS, he changed quite a number of things, which, by the way, he did admit that he changed a lot of things. But particularly the adjudication committee, you know, the one that sits to decide on tenders. So that's where perhaps the issue was. And then linking it to the increase in funding towards the TNA entities. So basically suggesting that the presence of Jimmy Mbeje, or rather Mzwandile Mbeje, at the GIS was enabling the Guptas really to have access to the government funds. Remember, they had wanted, I think, 600 million, the access to the 600 million budget that was available there. So her testimony was around the situation where Mzwandile Mbeje got in there and created conditions really that will be able to help the Guptas survive.
All right, and categorically denying that he unfairly gave money to Gupta Media. We leave it there, but thank you for your great daily analysis that you've been bringing us, and he'll keep on it at the Zondo Commission. Mzwandile Mbeje.